So Darren, can you tell me about your role as a dairy farmer and how you became involved really with robotic farming?
I was situated here in North Monaghan on a 40 hectare 80 cow dairy farm, and we were in the old traditional style herringbone parlour up until 18 months ago, and I suppose it was probably this time 2 years ago after the Balmoral show we'd seen the Lely Robotic, the Lely Astronaut A4 in action, so sort of turned our minds a bit and we were looking to upgrade here in a sense, so we checked out different eventualities and circumstances with it, and we felt it fitted our system quite well.
So Darren, in terms of installing the equipment here, how did you sort of prepare the farm for that?
I suppose with the initial contact with Niall McGorn in the Lily Centre in Mullingar, and me and engineer Simon Moore, who's a local man, he would have given us a lot of advice and I suppose set up the best place for the robot and the grazeway, which is down the back, the best site possible for them. And I suppose it was just us with getting everything in place after that for them to come to install the robot.
Perfect. And was it hard sort of, planning it and I suppose introducing this to the cows that you have?
Yeah, the initial planning, I suppose you were wondering the different eventualities, wondering about different circumstances you could relate to in the old system, and wondering how it could maybe affect or cause problems in this, and it was just about trying to walk around them and making the whole system as easy as possible and free flowing as possible.
So I suppose tell us, how exactly does it all work?
Well, initially the cow, I suppose, is free access on the grass-based system, which we are an AB system. The cow is free access, so they're in two 12-hour blocks at the minute, which is AB. So it's down to grassland management and grazing. Basically, you give them enough grass for the initial grazing, but not too much that they don't stay on, so it's that they get the requirements, come in, get milked, head down to the grazeway, and then they get out to a fresh paddock.
If you have cows that are out sort of in a field or at a distance, how do you kind of drive them back in?
I suppose the main driver is the feed. The cows are currently travelling 1.4 kilometres there at the minute, which is probably slightly too far, but the travel off it is down to the grassland management. As we spoke about earlier, you give them enough grass to satisfy them and fulfil them, but you don't give them too much. If there was too much in the paddock, they would tend to lie on and overrun their time then.
And I've noticed that the cows are wearing collars, so is every cow sort of registered, let's say, through
a
computer?
Each collar has a responder attached to it, which has a unique code to it, which is then identified by the computer and the sensors every time on the robot to signify which meal and what direction the cow has to go to each time it enters the robot.
Amazing. And we can see the cows here, they're actually lining up to get milk, which is kind of a revolutionary thing, I suppose, in milking. Do they all kind of know when to come in, or how does that work?
Well, at the start, it was slow at the start. You'd older cows in the herd, wouldn't have much of an issue with your heifers. They don't know any different from the traditional system, but the older cows in the herd that had a tendency to maybe lie on and know that you were going to come for them at some stage. But with weeks and months, I suppose, of training and just watching them, that they come to terms with the whole system.
And once a cow is lined up ready to get milk, then what takes place in terms of, where does the robotics come in?
Well, it enters the box, and the reader, the photocell on the box identifies the responder number, so then it has the cow data, and then it first of all it brushes the teats individually, and then there's a laser system that helps attach the teats, and then the cow milks. It is given, we're in a feed to yield system, so each cow is given a different amount of meal according to their yield, and the milking takes on average between 6 and 7 minutes, and then they head off to the next paddock.
Right, and so once the cow has been milked, do they know then automatically to return to the field? Yeah,
most of them will go. Some of them might go to the cubicle and lay up, but eventually they will head off to the fresh paddock.
And does it happen that in terms of, because it's all done through the computer, that you as a farmer can tell if a cow hasn't actually been milked? Does the computer tell you that, so you know to line it up? Or?
Yeah, you would know straight away. There's a collect cows aspect on the computer, and you check the later cows and then you would go and collect that cow and line it up.
Amazing. And so Darren, tell me, I mean, I suppose having introduced it just over a year, how have you found that this has sort of changed your farming experience?
I suppose a lot more flexible with time. You weren't restricted to I suppose it was 7:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the evening milking every day here, so you're not as tied to being here at them times. But I wouldn't say like you still be here, you're managing the system, but you're just a lot more flexible with time and fit to offer your service to grassland management and different things that are helping the progression of the farm.
Excellent. And have you noticed that other farmers within the area are picking up on this technology, and do you think this is something that will go widespread?
Well, there's 4 or 5 other farmers in the area have it. It's all down to your I suppose plans for the future, and if your land's set up for it. We would be pretty fragmented here with our land, but the system works, and I don't think there's any reason why it couldn't work in plenty of farms.